The ripple effects are just beginning after the U.S. capture of a disgraced international leader. Former Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro is here in New York City to face federal charges related to drug trafficking and working with terrorist organizations. He has denied all wrongdoing. Maduro and his wife were both taken into custody Saturday after the U.S. Army's Delta Force, an elite special forces unit, carried out a military operation in Caracas. President Trump says the U.S. will run Venezuela temporarily as the country's Supreme Court directs Vice President Delcy Rodriguez to assume the duties of acting president. However, when asked on Face the Nation about a potential plan for U.S. occupation of Venezuela, State Secretary Marco Rubio said President Trump is keeping all options open.
He does not feel like he is going to publicly, rule out options that are available for the United States, even though that's not what you're seeing right now. What you're seeing right now is an oil quarantine that allows us to exert tremendous leverage over what happens next.
CBS News correspondent Natalie Brand joins us now from Florida, where President Donald Trump is this afternoon. What is the administration's plan here, Natalie, especially long term? I mean, is this a one and done, or is it a nation-building exercise?
Hi, Chanel. There's just a lot right now that we don't know about the exact plan or specifics about how this will work or the time frame of how long the Trump administration will be involved in temporarily running Venezuela, as the president revealed in that news conference yesterday. He mentioned that his national security team will be involved. That includes Secretary of State, National Security Advisor Marco Rubio. And again, he didn't seem to rule out the possibility of boots on the ground during his news conference. But as you heard when pressed this morning on Face the Nation, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, he talked about helping to rebuild the oil industry, sanctions pressure, which we've seen already from the Trump administration's blockade on sanctioned oil tankers leaving Venezuela. He mentioned stopping drug trafficking. Then when Margaret Brennan tried to clarify that there's no plan for U.S. occupation, he said the president always retains optionality on these matters. Now, Democratic critics in Congress already pushing back, saying, there doesn't seem to be a plan here. There's also questions about elements of the Maduro regime in Venezuela, that remain in place. Some of his top officials still remaining in place. I asked President Trump about that yesterday during the news conference, whether he's concerned about that. And he said, quote, "We know who they are, and they're acting much differently now than they would have acted a couple of days ago. But again, this remains a very fluid situation with a lot that just remains to be seen." Chanel.
And Natalie, can you share with us the extent to which Congress was or wasn't involved in this military operation?
Well, Congress, specifically the Gang of Eight, that's congressional leaders and also top members with jurisdiction over the House and Senate Intelligence Committees, were not notified until after the strikes happened overnight in the early hours of Saturday morning. And Democratic members are very concerned about that move, that decision by the administration. The administration, Secretary Rubio, tried to defend it at the news conference yesterday, saying, that this was a top secret mission, that they were concerned about leaks that could have been coming from Congress, and that the mission also depended on really fluid factors such as the weather and other things. But again, even some Republicans are saying that Congress should have been informed earlier, that they want Congress to be informed as things move forward. And there are plans, Chanel, for Senate Democrats to try to force a vote on a war powers resolution to try to block the administration from continuing any sort of military action against Venezuela in the future without congressional authorization.
Okay, Natalie Brand in West Palm Beach, Florida, thank you.